So do you have the control, right?
No, 1 second. I'm asking for control.
Okay.
This default is still coming.
Yeah, you know what happened? I think like some of the updates didn't happen. So I did the updates and it was okay. But from yesterday, it still keep coming. So I just did an appointment with, I have an appointment with the big Best Buy Geek Squad. So I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna ask them what's going on because I checked the task manager and which is everything is fine. I have no idea. I don't know. It could be a problem from my laptop as well. I don't know. Yeah.
Still have some space. Okay, so you're saying so see, whenever I say installing a new service, right? So you have to go in here, this option,
Yeah.
add service,
Okay.
and now we want to install HBase, but yeah, so I will select
Okay.
that, continue.
Okay. Right.
Okay, so now we will select just one master for now. Or what we can do is, let's say, so when I want to create an HA environment, I need two masters, right? So in this case, there is no
Right.
separate option to enable HA. So you have to just select two of the servers so that you have two HA masters, and one will act as an active, the other one will act as a backup. Okay. These two I'm not installing for now, and region
It's
servers
one
I
of the
want.
yarn as well, the one you did for the yarn.
No, so in Yarn we have a separate option to enable HA,
Okay.
but in HBase we don't have that. So we just have to add two masters, and automatically one will act as a backup. Okay. Region servers. So it's a slave component of HBase. So I want it to be running on all three nodes. Okay. Continue. Okay. I will let this be as it is. Continue. Now this will be installing HBase for me. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, let me do one more thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we have HBase now. It will ask me for a restart. Let's do that. Okay, in the meantime,
Are you typing anything?
Yeah, one second.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, I think that's the public IP address you are trying to copy. Hmm.
Okay, so this is installed, and where is your folder where you have kept this B9?
The B9,
Yeah.
let me just check it out. I think I copied that on Hadoop, or it's in the download. No. This one, I think. The last one you copied?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
No,
that
I
one.
think this one should be. No, okay.
Yeah.
Just ping me this personally, okay? What I copied.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Oh, you want me to copy that personally?
So no, copy it, but ping me on GoToMeeting chat personally.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So that's your security key. I don't want it to be given to anybody else. That's me. Okay. So I'll. Okay. One more thing.
I think I sent that to everybody.
Yeah, you did. You did share it. Okay. Until unless everybody knows how to use it.
Well, I trust everybody. It's
Okay.
okay.
Is it complete? Did you copy it complete? One second.
I,
Yeah. Okay. You
yeah,
missed the this part, right? The start and the end part.
the begin. Yeah. You want me to copy
No,
that
no.
too?
I think it's not copied completely. Just copy it completely first,
Okay.
and this time send me personally. Okay.
Okay.
Copy it all. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now it's okay.
PO.
Why it's not copying the
No,
entire
it's
stuff?
not copying. Okay. Can you mail me this thing? Just mail me this file. Okay. Instead of copying.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'll be using your cluster actually today.
Okay.
That's why I'm asking for it. Okay.
Okay. So you know what I can do?
Hmm.
Why it's not copy? Okay, let's just try again.
Okay. In the meantime, I'm
No, it
making myself presenter.
okay.
And
You want me to copy pasted it or like a screenshotting stuff?
No, copy paste it. If it's not working, you can mail me. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Uh,
Okay. Sahil, I just emailed.
okay. Hive we have done. I think we did HBase also. Okay. Okay, I think this is not the right key. Okay, no problem. So we'll check that later if we require access to the HBase. Okay. So any doubt in HBase? If you have gone through that. Okay, so today I'll be discussing about clients. What exactly do you mean by client? And we will try to start with Spark as well. Okay. Spark is our last service of the Hadoop stack, and after that we are just left with the clients and the security section. Okay, so I'll be covering client first because we have covered services which we want to use first. We should know how your users are actually interacting with the clusters most of the time. This console that you see, this will be your responsibility, where you will come and check all your services are fine and stuff. But when it comes to your users, or we say it client, what exactly will they be using? Okay, and how will they be interacting with the cluster. Okay, so it's about Hadoop client today. Okay, first of all, what do you understand by a client? Okay, what does it mean to be a client of any server or any service? So just like in any business environment, it's a business term. You can say client is a end user or somebody who is sitting at a gateway to interact with your services or to utilize your services, right? Similarly, in every service that you see in here, we have certain client libraries or client role which are present on your servers. For example, if I uh, okay, this I don't see any client in HDFS. Let's go to okay. So here you see a role added as a gateway for your Hive, right? And this is added on host 44. Similarly, I can add more roles like this to other servers. Now, what is a gateway? Gateway is it's a role and it's a client, we can say, which is installed on a particular server, which has the configurations which makes that server understand how it can interact or connect to other servers. So right now I had a gateway on 44. I will be installing on the other host 43 also. Okay, so client, when we say we are adding a gateway or we are adding a client, it basically means we are just uh, pushing the configurations or pushing the files which will tell this particular server how it can interact with the master services of that particular role. Okay, so when I install this gateway, now you can say it says files missing. Give me 1 minute. Okay, so you can see it says files client configuration files missing. So it's going to install the Hive site.xml over here and the Hive env. These two files are associated with when it comes to the Hive, because these two files contains all of the information that we need when it comes to interacting with the Hive service. Okay, so deploying client configurations means you are pushing those files on that server so that when you type something like Hive or Beeline on that particular server, it should know how it will be interacting with your Hive service. Okay, so when we say client, this refers to the gateway role installed on a server, and it it's about pushing the necessary configurations that server needs to interact with the master services. okay, or master roles of a particular service. So right now I showed you Hive gateway install. When we installed it, hive-site.xml and Hive env, along with I think HDFS and other configurations might have also been pushed, which are related to Hive in some way. Okay, but these two will be pushed to that server where we installed the gateway. Okay. Similarly, for any service, if you want a particular server to interact with it, you must have either a gateway installed, or you must provide these kind of files separately to that server. Okay. Now, when it comes to Hadoop, and when let's say I want to give a gateway to my users to all these services that you see over here. Okay, Hive, HDFS, Uzi, HBase. The simplest client that the Cloudera came up, or that we already have, is Hue. So this Hue it's a separate service, but it's basically acting as a client to all the service roles that I have within the cluster. Okay, so let me just open Hue and show you how does it act as a client. So in your organizations, when you want to expose your services, you will only be providing client. Now client has minimum permissions. Okay, so all these client roles, clients have minimum permission to change the configurations of the service. It's only so because it's configured only to interact, not to change. Okay, this most widely exposed client or gateway to Hadoop services is Hue. Okay, I think 44 is your this server only. Let's see if it's opening up. Yeah, so this is what your Hue look like, and this is what you will be, this kind of a URL you will be sharing with your users or clients who wants to just so let's say there is a developer, he wants to run a Hive query, or he wants to run something over HBase, or let's say he wants to see some files within HDFS of his own user directory. So what we will do is we will create a user ID and password for him on Hue, instead of giving him such kind of server access, and wherein he will log into a server and run the Hive shell or HBase shell. We won't like that. Instead, we will give this Hue to him. We will create certain ID. Right now I'm using the admin ID only, but for each user they will have their separate username and password. Okay, so right now it opened me the Hive query editor. Right, similarly you have different editors. So Hive is what we are using currently, but you can use Spark, MapReduce. You can even run something on the shell. Shell means your shell commands. So if the user wants to run some shell command, he can do that until unless he has permission. Then you can use distcp. Distcp, I think we haven't discussed. It's basically when we want to copy files from one cluster to another. Let's say I wanted to copy files from ESA's cluster to my cluster, so I would have done distcp. Okay, this CP gives me that enables me to copy files from one cluster to the another. So similarly, you can add more such clients depending upon your user's requirement. Okay, scheduler we haven't explored it. Basically, it's your OZ here, OZ service. So when we want to schedule certain jobs to run at a particular time every day, or let's say we want to schedule certain jobs, we can define a workflow, then schedule it. Okay, and that workflow will run every time then we have scheduled it. So at the back end, what service is working is basically Uzi. And I'm not sure if Uzi is already running in here. Okay, so this is your view. Now let me just show you.
Sahil,
Yeah.
Sahil, can you go to the hue from the Cloudera again? I just need to show you, like, I need to see how did you go? Because you copied that IP address.
No, I didn't. So I copied it, but yes, your cluster is already having the IP address within it. I was expecting a public IP to come here, but the one that I
Okay.
copied, even that will work. So if I just replace, this is
Okay.
your public IP DNS IP.
Mhm.
If I just put in
Yeah.
this, even this will work. What was the port? Uh, 8889.
Right.
So
It's here
if
on
I,
your accessing non-optimized view class. Okay. Yeah.
if I replace this with your IP, even this will
Mm-hmm. Okay.
work. Okay, so in here, right now I am into the Hive query editor, and all those commands that we were running from Hive shell, they will work similarly in here also. I think we did run it that day also. We were using this Hive shell only, sorry, the Hue only, right? On the left hand side, you can see the database is created. If you want to create more databases, if let's say the user wants to create it, this very simple utility from directly from browser, you can do it. You can give the name, description, location, and the database will be created. So it's pretty easy to interact with Hadoop this way directly from the UI instead of running the same things on your shell. But yes, as admins, you should have the habit of using the shell more. Okay, so make yourself comfortable with shell and this black screen more, because the more you're comfortable with it, the more you will be able to easily troubleshoot issues, and you will know where to look out for when a particular issue comes. Okay, but yes, we expose our services through here. Now, let's say the person wants to see the Hadoop files. Okay, okay, so I need this admin user to be part of the HDFS user. So whichever user wants to be able to see the files, he should be a part of the HDFS. Or you can configure it differently also. It depends upon your configurations within Hue. Okay, so let's say if HDFS already has this, I will make another user. I want to create certain user, so I will click on the Manage User tab. Okay, HDFS user is already there. I'm not sure what exactly is the password. Let me update this password. Okay. Similarly, I can add more users, or you can also integrate it with a directory service. So every company already has some directory services running. We call it LDAP or Active Directory. And what exactly is a directory service? It's storing the user information for every user in your organization, and it's every user will have a particular user ID associated. So you can also integrate this Hue with the LDAP or the external directory service, so that all the users which are already present in that directory will directly be ingested to your queue instead of you creating them one by one like this. Okay. That's a pretty advanced step when it comes to administration, but you should understand something like this also exists. Okay. And let me add this to the HDFS group so that I can run the files command, check files command. Okay, I will also make it admin. So super user status means you're making it an active admin user. Okay, so I have this Sahil user also created. I think I can also see the files if I just add admin user to the HDFS group. Let's see. So I will update the group of this admin user to HDFS also. Yeah, let's see if I am able to see the files now. Okay, no, it doesn't says. Here your admin but not a HDFS super user, a part of the HDFS group, super group, super group. Okay, let's try with HDFS instead. The user we already created. The reason I'm showing you is that you should know that all the things that we can do from shell, 80% of them are also possible from Vue. So you should, instead of exposing your servers directly to your clients, you should always push them to use Vue. So now I'm logged in through HDFS user. Okay, even this is not getting me. Okay, standby exception. The read is not supported. Is your cluster is in standby? Let's see if I have the cluster in standby. No, everything looks fine. Okay, so now I am checking the logs. Why is it giving me the standby error? So you can see debug info, debug info. Debug means it's more high level of more information about the logs when we want, and info is general information what happened at that particular timestamp. Okay, so I am looking for something like error or warning in here, like this error. But that error has to be in relation to the issue that I am facing. This is not in relation. This is something related to the Navigator API. I think that could be a reason. Navigator is not able me to navigate. Or you can see warning. Okay, so whenever you want to check something which is failing, always look for these keywords: warning or error. And the same applies to when you're doing it on the server. When you're checking into a file, a log file on the server. Okay, for now it's not working. Maybe there's some reason it's not able to interact with the active name node. It's going towards the standby one. So we are not able to see the files. But yes, okay. Right now I cannot see something related to HBase, but you can enable that also. So if I just go, If I just go to Hue, in the configurations, okay, so you can see Uzi service. This is acting as a scheduler. Uzi should be already there. Right now, HBase is not active. It's appearing none. That's why I cannot see the HBase. But once you enable it, you can also start seeing HBase. We don't have Impala in the cluster, so that's why Impala is not. But yes, when we install Impala service, it will also start appearing as an option. Sentry is for your security. When we want to enable security, we will use Sentry. And Sentry will be used to when you want to manage permissions over your HBase or Hive tables. And you can use Hue to configure that. Okay, let's save it. It will ask for a restart. If it's not, let me just restart it otherwise also. Okay, so we need a HBase thrift server if you want to browse HBase over Hue. So I need to install thrift. I will come back to HBase. Thrift server is a HBase component. If you remember when we were installing a gateway, installing HBase, it did ask us whether we want to a thrift server or not. So I will add it, HBase thrift. You can also see we have a gateway for HBase also. So if you just want a server to be able to interact with HBase, you can install a gateway over there, just like we did for Hive. Okay, so we have thrift. I'll come back to you. Config. HBase thrift, save changes. I don't think it's asking for a restart. Let's see if just refreshing it is fine. Otherwise, we will restart it. No, it's asking for a restart. Yeah, so it's adding the HBase configuration. That's why it's asking for it. Okay, now you can see we have this HBase tab over here. Okay, and all those commands, we might not have any tables if ESA might have not practiced, so I won't see any table. But yeah, you can see here everything is on a click of a button. You can do for clients. It's pretty easy. Instead of running commands, they can create tables. You can create things just by a click of a button. So this tab is for HBase right now. Okay, having some issues with the API maybe, but yeah, through Hue, it's pretty easy for you to run anything. You can also add more services. I think Spark and other things are not added right now. And even we don't have Impala. Impala, if you remember, it's a faster version of Hive. Okay, so you can also have Impala running in here if you have Impala service. All of that can be added to this client Hue. Now, Hue is something which is already pre-bundled, but yes, if you are interested in more specific clients, you can create your own clients, or you can configure them to interact with Hadoop. But yes, every server which is trying to interact with Hadoop services should have a client configurations installed. So when I enabled it to interact with HBase, somehow it already had information about HBase, or we made it enabled in the configurations. If you remember, if you remember when we installed the Hive thrift server, it appeared in the configuration of Vue that it's adding certain fields that will make it understand how to interact with it. Okay. Similarly, if you are configuring your own clients in your environment, you should understand that they must have the configurations that they need to interact with the services of Hadoop. This is the only point we should understand and always remember when we are configuring clients. Okay, so that's all for clients. I think that's but you can explore more on this. Now I'll come back and install another service which is called Spark, which is most widely used by your developers, and issues that might come on your Yarn applications. You could mostly find that they are using Spark and something is failing over there. Okay, so right now you can see only Spark 1. This is Spark version 1. Okay, but mostly people are using Spark version 2, which is which comes as a separate parcel. So just like how we installed parcels for CDH, you will find a separate parcel for Spark version 2. But to understand what exactly Spark is and how it works, we'll be using Spark 1 only right now. But yes, you should have this understanding that if you want to install a version 2 of Spark, you will have to refer to a separate parcel, and you will make sure I'll show you how you will configure that. Right now I'm just installing Spark 1 the default way. Okay, so now we have Spark. Isa, can you quickly check if it's a separate file that you are interacting with, because this is not working for me.
Which one is that? Like the
This
PEM you're talking
the
about?
PEM, yes, the PEM I'm talking about.
Well, you know what? Like the last time when while we are downloading installing the data node, then
Uh-huh.
we actually download the B9 D, the one you did.
Uh-huh.
Let me show you this. So
Okay.
I think like each time you have to download the new B9.
No, no, no. You can share the one which you're using. Okay, I'm making a presenter. Let me see which file was that. Maybe we are
Yeah.
copying somewhere else. One second.
No. This one is that the B9DN. You said it.
This is the
The
same.
data node.
This is the same.
Yeah, the same. Yes.
Okay,
The
let me
one
just
just
make sure
not
once
work.
again. Let me just make sure
Okay,
once. Just show me your screen.
sure. Yeah. Okay. You know what, okay.
Once again,
Yeah.
I'm asking for control.
Oh. Oh.
Do I have the control? I don't know.
I don't think so.
Okay,
Do
now I
you?
have. Yes, now I have
Okay.
control. One second.
Yeah. So,
Okay, so this file is in your users isabrar b9.pem.
that's a B9. If you go down, then you will see that on the download. If you go down,
Okay, oh, one second.
yeah.
QVRG. Okay, and the one you sent me.
That's a new B9 DN. That's we downloaded for the data nodes.
Okay, these two are different. I want this file. Can you send me this?
Oh, sure.
Yeah,
Let me just email
yeah, email it.
or
Email it. That's fine.
okay.
Okay, so I think yeah, Spark is installed.
Yeah,
Now I
I'll
will
send.
try it. Okay, thank you. I will just
Oh,
log into this server and try to show you how you run Spark. I think HBase was also left out. Quickly, I'll show you how you can launch HBase shell and take a look at the configurations or logs of HBase and Spark. Before going to Spark. Okay.
Mm.
Okay, so let me show you how to run HBase shell. Uh, 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 uh. Okay, so this is how your HBase shell would look like when you want to, interact with HBase from your client or from any server which already has HBase role running. So right now I'm on a server, I think, which already has a HBase role instead of client. Let me check. 44, yeah, 44 years is the HBase master right now. That's why, and you can see active in a backup configuration. So this is a HA environment. If I just stop this active for now in HBase, this backup will become active. Okay, 44 already had some roles, so that's why there is no need for a gateway. Okay, otherwise, if any other server apart from these, I want to run this HBase shell, I must install the gateway role. Okay, this gateway role must be installed if you want to interact with HBase. But if you already have certain roles of HBase running, that's why you will be able to run the shell and everything like this. Otherwise, this won't work. Okay, so gateway is important if you want these commands to work. Basically, if you want your server to interact. So right now, when I press HBase shell, it interacted with my master and connected to it. That's how this shell came up. Okay. So just to quickly show you, if you want to create, so in Hive we used to have tables. In HBase, instead of tables, in Hive we used to have databases. In here we will have namespace, which is a container, that will hold your HBase tables. Okay, so command for creating namespace. Let's call it B9 only. Okay. I think list is the command. List namespaces. So right now I have three namespace. B9 is the one that I created. I have default and HBase. I can create more such namespace. Now let me create a table. So I will say create. Let's call it employee table, since all of our examples were in I think employee. And since I want this table to be since I want this table to be created in the B9 namespace. So similarly in Hive, how we used to do, we used to provide a database name, then dot, then the table name. In here, you will provide B9. I think column. Let's call it employee. And then you must specify a column family. Yeah, so this is how we have created a table employee in our namespace B9 and having a column family CF. Okay, I can create more such tables. And I can list the tables in a particular namespace like this. There are around 504 commands. Okay, you can explore within this HBase, but most widely used are the ones that I have just now used. I'm trying to see if there is anything else. Yeah, so there is a concept of snapshots also in HBase, wherein you can create a snapshot of a table, and mostly this is used when we are doing DR, when we are copying the HBase tables to some other group, other cluster, let's say. So we will configure some peers. Peer means the other cluster. We will create a snapshot of that table we want to copy to the peer, and then there is some other command, I think, to copy it. And so mostly you can study about this will be used in advanced HBase when we are configuring something like a DR, when we want to copy tables at a periodic period to my other cluster. DR is your disaster recovery. Every cluster in an organization will have a corresponding disaster recovery environment also. So that if my production environment fails, I can make my disaster recovery environment active, and I can switch my users to that. Okay, so whenever we want to copy the HBase tables to the DR environment, these commands will be used: peers, namespace, sorry, peers, snapshots, all these things. So as and when you get more experience with it, you will understand. And HBase is a pretty wide topic in itself. Okay. Yes, snapshot command will be used to create the snapshots. Rest, I think, we can explore depending upon our requirements. Okay, so the next thing I want to show, if something is appearing failed over HBase, how will you troubleshoot? So every time, just like earlier for other services, you have to go to the var log. Within it, you will find the HBase. So right now only region server is running on this host. So I will, let's say if something is wrong with my region server, I can check the log, check this file, and now again you can see info. I will always look for something like error that is not found right now. Otherwise, I can also look for something like warn. Okay, these lines will give me more information what went wrong at a particular time. Okay. The other important thing about HBase, is the file system check, which is very important for admins. Let's say if you are not able to find certain regions in healthy state, how will you check? How will you fix that? Okay. First of all, how to check it? So the command will be hbase hbck. Similarly to how we had in name node, right? Hadoop fsck. So right now it says no inconsistencies detected. Status is okay. These are my tables, all appearing okay. But if something is wrong, you will always run this utility and check if something is missing over it. Okay, everything should be okay like this. But for in some case, let's say if something is wrong with the cluster, you can fix that with certain options that HBCK provide. Okay, these are the options. The most widely used is the repair command. I explained it in the previous class also. This repair will is a shortcut of all these options. Some of these options: assignment, meta, holes, orphans. Okay, these are certain issues that can come up in your HBase. But the easiest way for us to fix all of them is to run repair. Okay. Right now, so there's some permission issue. I can fix that and I can run it. Okay, permission issue because I'm trying to run it using user root, which does not have permission to the HBase directory. So either I can run it being an HBase. I can do like this. HBase. So this thing over here means that I am switching to role HBase when I want to run this command. So -u means switch to user HBase. Okay. Uh, oh, sorry, I gave report. It's repair. So now it tried to repair. Since there were no inconsistencies, so it went fine. Otherwise, if something would have been wrong, it would have tried to repair it. Number of region servers. So you can it's like your report command or admin command, just like we used to do in HDFS. Now, one more thing, a very important table which HBase keeps information about the regions and everything is the meta table, and you can see it's in the HBase namespace. Okay, so if you remember when I opened HBase shell, there were three namespaces coming up. Right, there were three namespaces. One that I created, one was default, and then there was this HBase. Now, within this HBase, this is your metadata namespace. All the tables within this will have your metadata information about the HBase, and that's why it's important for admins. Because if anything is wrong in the cluster, this table is the one we should refer to. But mostly your issues will be fixed by just running the repair command, because that is only when we say repair command, it's trying to, you can see HBase file system check over the HBase meta only. But yes, if something is too deep to understand, we can refer the contents of this container. Right now only it has two tables. One is for namespaces, one is for meta. Okay, how do you read the data from a HBase table? The command would be scan. Scan followed by the namespace name, which is HBase, colon, the table name. Right now I want to first of all check the contents of namespace table. So I will do scan over HBase namespace. You can see, as the name suggests, it contains the information about all the namespaces within the cluster. We had 3, so this table now contains 3 rows, and these are the columns or the column families: info, timestamp, and value. Similarly, let's see what exactly is in meta. So in meta, I have more detailed information less about each table. So B9 employee table, I think these are the region info. You can see, right? This is the region info. Its value is encoded. Start key, end key. Since I don't have any data in it, so these are empty. But if I would have pushed some data, this would have also had some values. Then we have for this table the sequence number during the server it's installed on. You can see this region is present on this particular region server. Server start code, region info, again for a different table now. So each table is having 4 kind of information you can see in the meta. And if any one of these faces issues, it will start appearing as an inconsistency. Okay, so these are pretty much how admins deal with HBase. We are not interested in creating tables and pushing data, but we are interested in things like this, because that's how we will understand the issue. Okay, quickly let's come back to Spark. So Spark also has a shell. Now when I ran the Spark shell, it's basically running a command, running a job over your yarn. Okay. Okay, right now some issues is there, I think. Okay, it needs some more memory for yarn. These two properties, it needs to be at least this particular memory. Right now they're configured to 1 GB. Let's quickly check that. So for checking that, I will come to yarn. Now one more thing we need to understand, these are the Spark and services like this is the reason that everyone transitioned to Hadoop 2, because Hadoop 1 only allows running jobs over map reduced kind of framework. Spark is a different framework altogether. Spark framework is different from how map reduce framework works. There is no mapping or reducing in here now. Okay, Spark will have its own concepts which we will discuss shortly. But this is the reason people started using Hadoop version 2 instead of version 1, because it gives us the liberty to run anything apart from the map reduce framework also. Okay, coming back to the issue. So we are facing issue with this version, sorry, running Spark shell, because these two properties are not configured to have the minimum memory required by my executor. So Spark, okay, so it will run over yarn, and the containers of Spark which are running over yarn are called executors. Okay, so right now my executor need at least 1024 plus 384 of megabytes of memory, which is not configured the same. So I will copy this property, come back to yarn configurations. See, it's 1 GB. Let's make it 2 GB. Similarly, the other property. Okay, I think both of them are related to the same one. Yeah, so we have made it 2 GB. Let's save it, restart the service. It will automatically ask me. So the red in here, when you see this red, that means, or minus sign, that means it's removing this value and replacing it with a green, this value. And you can see this is happening in your yarn site file. Okay. Now I know after this we will be left with the concept of securities only, and I will try to cover it up by next class. Okay. And after that we will start with your tests, and somewhere in between we can have a class about the Linux advanced topic also, if you guys are interested. But yes, this will be all. The next class will be about security. I will not install Kerberos, but I'll show you the process of it and what exactly is Kerberos and SSL, all those security concepts within the Hadoop framework. Okay. Okay, I think yarn has already started, so I can proceed and run the shell again. Scala, what you see here is a programming language, just like Java. Spark is written in Scala programming language. That's why when we open a shell, the Scala shell opens up. Okay, again some error. Okay, now it says permission denied for user root. Permission denied for user root to write over the user / user folder. Okay, let's become HDFS instead. Okay, now you can see an application ID was actually launched, and there is a concept of Spark context, okay, which is running as a master yarn client. So these things that we need to understand, okay, about Spark. So I said there were many executors which are containers. Now there is another thing called your Spark context, which is your application master when it comes to the understanding on yarn end. If you remember, application master is the temporary master which is launched on yarn to manage your containers. Okay, but since we are dealing with Spark right now, it will be called a Spark context, while the containers will be called executors. So if you just want to understand the architecture, how it's happening, so we have a Spark context, we have multiple containers. Okay, so you can have multiple executors like this. And the beauty of Spark, why people use Spark instead of MapReduce, is that Spark has this concept of in-memory computation, which means that the execution of logic is done on RAM more often, or your RAM memory. So in memory means you are executing your logic on whatever logic you want to run on the data over the using the RAM memory, which is fast. Okay, this is a faster way of executing your computation, and Spark will more often push the data to the RAM and run the execution over there, which will be faster and efficient as compared to other frameworks like MapReduce. Okay, so the more you use RAM, uh, and the best part is, since RAM is always present in a minimum amount, RAM being the more expensive kind of memory, you might not see much of RAM in your clusters, but still Spark has developed itself in a way that within the limited RAM also it's able to utilize it more efficiently and run your executions over it. Okay, so now we have entered the Spark shell and we can run any Spark command, and it's a kind of application ID only. So if I just go to yarn, so right now this application ID refers to my application master here, and with this application I could see multiple containers which are nothing but executors. Now there are certain modes of running Spark over yarn. Modes of running Spark, we can say. Okay, one first mode is if you want to run it as a standalone. Standalone means there is no backend infra support like we had as yarn. Okay, other one is your yarn mode, wherein we use yarn as the backend support or the backend infrastructure for Spark. Okay, Spark could run as a standalone where it doesn't create something like an application master or containers over yarn, but it would be a separate Spark context and executors on its own infrastructure. Otherwise we could use yarn. Now in yarn mode there are then again two kind of modes. One is yarn master, the other is yarn client. sorry, not yarn master. It's called yarn cluster. Okay, yarn cluster means the Spark context can be launched on any node within the Spark cluster, while yarn client mode means Spark context will only be launched on the node we ran the Spark command. So what does it mean? Right now we ran this Spark shell on this particular server, right? And since it's running in the yarn client mode, that means the Spark context or the application master is launched on this node only. Although we are running in a cluster, okay, we have a 3-node cluster. But if I just change this master to yarn cluster, then it's the cluster's responsibility to know on which host this application master will be launched. Okay, it could be launched on any host within the cluster. But if I want to be sure that I want this application master only to run on the node where I run the Spark shell or some other command of Spark, then I should use the yarn client mode. Okay, so these are a few concepts we must know as an admin for Spark. And next comes the troubleshooting of Spark. It's quite similar to how we troubleshoot yarn, but with some added functionalities. So I'll have to come to yarn again. Let's say if something is wrong with my Spark context. So how will I troubleshoot that? First of all, I will quickly ask my user for this application ID. I will go to yarn. Okay, you can see there is one job of application type Spark. Now you can see it's different from MapReduce. Type is different from MapReduce. Okay, it's in running state, and the application master now, this URL will be different from your yarn application master. Okay, 238. Isa, can you give me the public IP of this 238?
Just give me a moment. Public IP or private?
Public. Private is 238, so you have to give me its corresponding public IP.
Private is 238.
Yeah, search for your node which has private 238.
Okay. Okay, let me copy this one.
Just ping me on the chat, okay?
Yeah. Is this one really?
You sure this is the public IP of 238?
I think so. I well, you know what? Like, you can check it out by
No, you gave me.
sharing
I
my.
think you gave me the IP of 44, the Cloudera Manager host. Is that? Yeah,
I
this
think
is the
so.
Cloudera Manager host. I want the IP of. Okay, give me the other two nodes. Private public IPs.
238, you said, right? The private IP?
Yes, yes.
Oh, okay, now I got it. I heard 232. I don't know why did I heard.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, this is it.
Okay.
Okay, so now you can see this is Spark application UI, and you can see certain tabs. So whenever a job will run, so right now there is nothing running on this application. I did not run anything. This is my Spark context. If I would run something, it will appear as a stage. I will place this file in HDFS in temp location. Instead of temp, I think let's put it in HDFS. Okay, so now I will use this location in Spark shell to compute the word count. A new application will be launched because the previous one I killed that. Okay, so now we have 03. So I will have to change this to 03. Yeah. Okay, so there is nothing running right now. You can see there is no executor. Only one, I think, which is your application, which is your Spark context. It's appearing active. Otherwise, there is nothing else. You can see, sorry, driver. Okay, Spark context driver. So this is basically your driver, which is your master role. Okay, and yeah, so right now we only have a driver which is running, which is my Spark context, when there are no containers or executors running, because Nothing has been launched. This is also a good feature of Spark. The executor will be running everything in RAM, right? It's an in-memory computation, so it will only run uh, when actually the computation is required. Otherwise, there is no need when there is no need to have RAM allocated. Nothing from the RAM will be allocated to the executors. So it's not like you have pre-allocated some memory from RAM. It's like whenever you will need the RAM, then only you will allocate the in memory. Otherwise, everything will remain silent, just like how we have right now. Okay, so I will try to run this word count. Instead of this, we will use the file we copied. Uh, One second. Okay, yeah, I'm actually copying from the Python version. I want it from Scala. So, okay, in Scala we have to have something like a val. Val means value. So this is now created as an RDD. RDD, when I say in memory computation, okay, the data structure used is RDD, or resilient distributed RDD, resilient distributed. When I am forgetting, one second. Data set. Okay, resilient distributed data set, which is a collection of elements partitioned across nodes that can be operated on in parallel. So this is just like it's a way how Spark is using the in-memory computation, and that also parallelly over the cluster. Okay, so all these executors will have an RDD associated, which is running on a separate node or the node manager within the cluster. Okay, so as soon as I created this text file or this variable, you can see a RDD, Spark RDD has got created, which has one partition. Okay, next I will, so even right now I won't see anything happening on the Spark history server. Nothing is there because this is just a static file. Okay, we have still not allocated memory in RAM, but as soon as I will run this command, which will be the, okay, before that let's create a count function. Let's create a count function. What this function is doing is defining its own way of creating a count. So you can read about all these functions. This is a flat map function of Scala. Although these are all done by developers, so there's no need to go into much detail. But right now you need to understand what this function will do. It will split the line of this file depending upon the space character. Then it will map each word to value 1, and then finally it will add all the words. So it's a function defined. No need to understand this like how it's working, but okay. For me, it's text underscore file, I think. Uh, yeah, it's text underscore file. Okay, so this function is now created again as an RDD. So it's basically we are performing a transformation. Okay, so what happens within when we create an RDD is, first of all, there are like stages of RDD. Operations, transformation, and creation. Okay, so first of all, creation, which we did as this step, as this step. Then there are operations which you can perform over it, which will be the final step. Then it comes as transformation. Okay, so transformation step is this, what we did. We created another RDD from this one, from this RDD text file, and we performed this transformation over it. Okay. Finally, when we perform an operation, that's when the in-memory computation will come into picture. So up till here, there was no job, there was nothing running. Okay, there was no stage running. But now, as soon as I perform an operation, I will be creating another file which only has the count values. Okay, so I will save it as a text file. Let's give it a name, test results dot txt, and I want it to be present in the same location in HDFS user HDFS. Okay, so now you will see there is a transformation and the execution will occur. Okay, you can see stages are launched. There are two stages launched. Okay, one is in pending state right now. Even on the executors, you could see then now we have two containers which are active and running. I think they are all in pending because we don't have the node managers running. Both of them are stopped. We only have one node manager. This is how you need to understand why is something not running, why is something failing. You need to figure that out as an admin. What did I do? I stopped it. See, there is no executor which is running. I think that's the reason because we don't have the node managers. Okay, something is wrong with this your node manager, Isa. Okay, try to look at the logs. I'm not sure if I am already on one of them. Okay, I can go to one of them and fix it. See, they're still showing as accepted. Problem is with your node managers. That's why nothing is being allocated. No memory is allocated. See, initial job has not accepted any resource. Check your cluster to ensure that workers are registered and have sufficient resources. We have the workers registered, but they are stopped.
Mhm.
I think this servers have a different pen, right? That's what you meant, Isa.
Yes. Yeah.
Hmm.
The B9DN
Yeah, got it. This
one.
one might be using the previous one, right? The one that you sent me earlier.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you still have hair like this?
Yeah.
Nice, nice hairstyle.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, yes, stop pen.
I think it's going to be Isa. Yes, sir.
So I create a new file
Okay.
for this node.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's see what's wrong with your node manager.
Yeah.
Okay, permission denied. Var lib. Okay, so this has write permission. Nothing wrong with this directory permission. I think something is wrong with the parent directories. I think this issue do came when I was also installing a new node managers. Yeah, no permission here. So I will have to make it chmod 755 chmod on. Do the same step on your other node manager also whenever you get time.
Okay.
Okay.
But what is the meaning of chmod 755?
Ch mode is changing your mod or the permissions. Right now there was 000. Hyphen hyphen
Mm-hmm.
means 0 means so first three for the first number, next three for the next number, last three for the last number. First three is for your users, the next three is
Mm-hmm.
for your group, the last three is for anybody else apart from the user and the group. So in here the user was root, group was also root. Now whenever yarn runs something, whenever something
Mm-hmm.
is running for yarn, let's say node manager, resource manager, it always run with yarn user. And all
Okay.
of your users, yarn, hdfs, hadoop, hbase, they're all part of the hadoop group. Okay, so I may
Okay.
change the ownership. Chown means change ownership to
Mm-hmm.
yarn user colon hadoop group, and chmod 755 means give, read, write, and execute. 7 means all permission. Read, write, and execute. 5 means only
Yes.
read, execute, no write permission. So no write permissions to the group and the other, but yes, all permissions to my users. So if I just do ll again, you will see this is now changed. Yarn is the user, Hadoop is the group. This thing has now changed to read, write, execute for the user, read and execute for group, and read and execute for other. And that was the reason we were getting the permission denied, because I was trying to run node manager using yarn user, but
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have permissions.
Okay.
You can see these directives were actually did not even get created because my yarn user was not able to go into this folder. There was no permission for it to go into this folder. So it failed with permission denied. Okay.
So you did that for one data node. So I have to do one
I
for
did,
the other one.
yes, I did for this one, this node 238.
238. Okay.
I did this for this node. Okay, you have to do this for this node. So this will work now.
Mm-hmm.
And I expect my job to be given some resources once it starts.
Mm.
Let's see. Yes, now it has started running. See, there are 6 tasks, 4 RDDs, 4 complete, something like that. My
Mm.
stages are complete as soon as I had a node running. You can see now the job has ran. The shell has come back again. Okay, all of them are completed. So now I have a file created in HDFS, which is the result of the word count. I can check that. Oh, okay. So I have one word with which has this one word is one word tutorial one. Every word has one. I think I did not have common words. That's why the number has not changed from 1 to 2 or 3. But if the file would have had different words, okay, maybe I kept it somewhere else. Yeah. So the point is, this is how the Spark works. So you have executors. So as soon as the resources were made available on Node Manager, it launched the executors, or which were actually the containers of your application. Okay. So this liberty we only got because we started using Hadoop 2 and Yarn, which is also called the MapReduce 2, which gives us the liberty to not just run jobs of type MapReduce, but also of different kind, such as Spark. Now, one more thing. So right now we were running Spark Shell. For people, for developers, they might be using something like this also, Spark Submit. This is when you already have a code written. So Spark Shell is when you want to interactively write code. So I was writing code interactively, one line at a time, right? But if I want to run this, if I have already had all these lines and I compile it in a single file and I want to run that single file, I will use the Spark Submit, or my developers will use the Spark Submit. You can see when you run Spark Summit, you yourself define what will be the mode. Will it be yarn? Will it be yarn client, yarn local? Or local means here standalone. Okay. So deploy mode you can define as a client or a cluster. So this combining these two properties, it will mean that you are using yarn client or yarn local or yarn cluster. Default will always be client. So your driver will always be launched on the node from where you run this command. But when will you need a cluster mode? So let's say you are running, uh, let's say your client wants to run some job. So you will give him a cluster mode instead, because then the trigger will be in your hand. You know how you will want to manage which node should be running the driver instead of giving that information to the user itself. Okay. So yeah, if you want to bring in some abstractions within the processing of Spark, you can use the cluster mode. Okay, that's it for today, and that's it for Spark. Now there is another version of Spark called Spark 2. So all of these commands will change. Instead of Spark Summit, it will become Spark 2 Summit. Spark Shell will become Spark 2 Shell. But yes, that doesn't come bundled already with Cloudra's version. It has to be installed separately. So you have to separately provide the parcel for Spark 2. I am not sure if that is already appearing in here. No, it's not appearing. So you'll have to separately provide it in your production environment. And companies are using Spark 2 more often. Commands will remain same. It will have certain more added functionalities. It's just that. Okay, right now you can see it's Spark 1, version 1.6. But yes, you should understand that Spark 2 doesn't come bundled. You have to separately provide a parcel. Okay, so that's all for Spark and clients. Now we are left with only the topic of security. How will you make your cluster secure? How will you make your table secure and authorize only people who should be have access to that? So we will be using multiple services for that. For security, the most common service in Hadoop security is your Kerberos, but we will also explore Sentry for your table security, and we will also explore SSL. This is the only topic left, and I'll try to cover it by your Sunday class. And after that, we will explore more into Linux, and then we will have multiple mock tests. So be ready for that. Okay. Okay. Any questions?
No. So when we're gonna try the Linux, are we gonna do all this? Are we gonna practice our HBase and the yarn and everything on the Linux as well, like the commanding and the
Yes.
scripting stuff?
Yes. Yes. We can.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Okay. How is your preparation going? We haven't had any like. Are you guys getting time to prepare, or will you be preparing later? What is the plan?
Plan for the what? Like the
Plan.
entire Hadoop, the
Yes.
one you just taught. Oh, okay.
Entire Hadoop.
Um, Hadoop.
So are you like just stacking over the videos for now and maybe refer it later, or do you want to, or are you like following it week by week? I just want to understand.
I try to follow week by week,
Okay.
but yeah, though I am not practicing a lot, but I try to follow all like each week's lecture on that week.
Okay.
Not like I just yeah, I don't want to pend it for the next week so that because when you are at least when you are speaking,
Mhm.
I can follow even if I'm not practicing it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's yeah, yeah,
And what
but
about others? Shantanu, Esad, Challe?
I think they are. there.
Okay, so just whatever way you feel is good for you, just follow that. I just want you guys to.
Oh, I had a question about the test questions you shared with us in the in WhatsApp.
Yes, yes.
It looks pretty clumsy because it's like a
Very long.
long row. You know,
Mhm.
you can scroll. You have to move
No, no. So
from the side.
you can refer the I think
I wanted to email it to me because I prefer to see it in my uh, tab
top.
or in a laptop. Yeah.
Okay, let me just open and tell you how you can refer that first of all. There are multiple pages
Okay.
on that Excel, I think, right? So
Mhm.
yeah, it might become a little clumsy. Okay, yeah. I will place it in Drive also, maybe that if that suits.
Is this on Drive? Oh,
Okay, so in here,
right.
uh, in your Kahoot summary, okay,
Mhm.
you will find the questions at the top, the answer that you gave over here, and the one which
Right.
is correct. Okay, the one which is correct, I don't think that's appearing, but you can refer. So let's say if all of you have not given a right answer, okay. So in
Mhm.
that case, you might have to come to the question number 3 over here, and you will get to know which is the right answer. Okay, so first refer to this page, Kahoot summary,
Mhm.
understand the questions directly. You have all the
Mhm.
questions and the options which are available. And if you want to check out the options, you can directly go to that question number. These are your options available, and just below it, you will find the right option.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm.
Let me just mail it to you also. That's fine for you.
Yeah, I think it's better. Yes.
Okay.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions, guys? Anyone?
I think I will what I'm going to do because the Sunday like kind of like you are finishing up, and then
Mhm.
I will go with like we have to go through all the classes from the beginning to the end, and then I will write down my all questions, and then maybe I can ask,
Okay, that's
not
better.
maybe I will ask like very maybe end of the week or maybe the next Sunday, like the following Sunday one, that I
Good.
will ask all the questions, and then I think may pretty much each one will be matching with my questions as well because I think they have questions as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. That's good.
Yeah.
Good practice.
Hmm.
Okay. So
Yeah.
let's meet on Sunday now. And if any other questions
Okay.
still have, you can always post on the group. Okay. Thank you for joining.
Sure.
Right. Bye.
Okay. Bye.